Welcome back. This is Chili Davis, and I'm here to do a video about finances and financial literacy. And I'm just going to review one of my posts on Instagram. And I made this post about 2 years ago, but I think it still applies today. So I named this post Financial Secrets to Building Wealth. And the number one secret, I believe, is credit. So we're going to talk about credit today. And if you notice throughout this list, you're going to see other things that I do: stock, home ownership, patience, delayed gratification, and talk about financial experience and self-awareness. But today's topic is going to be about credit cards and kind of what type of credit do you need to get like a Chase or Amex card. Okay, so we are on nerdwallet.com, and the top is what is a good credit score, and this is dated February 9th, so it's looks pretty good, pretty relevant, not stale information. And so we'll talk about the ranges here: 300 to 629. Okay, this score right here, 300 to 620, does not really tell you a whole lot about a person's credit history or their background. 300 to 629 might mean they have one credit card, and 300 may mean they have no credit cards. So this score here doesn't tell you a whole lot. It's almost like being in school. If a person has a 300 to a 629, I would almost assume they're like a C student as far as credit. They might have a home, they might have a car, but they'll be paying a high interest rate. Probably their score might be 600 to 629. So this credit score, 300 to 629, is very misleading. Very misleading. Okay. Number two credit range here is 630 to 689. This means they do have a lot of credit experiences. They might have at least 2 credit cards. And it goes back to some of the principles I mentioned, like budgeting and understand what they have. So this person with a 630, 689, they probably have a savings account. They've probably been on their job for at least 2 years, and they pay their credit cards on time, and they keep the balances relatively either paid off or halfway paid off. So that's where this is. This group here, 690 to 719, is generally the group of people who I would consider like maybe a B student, but for the most part, they're A student. And the only thing affecting their credit here is they may be balance on one of their credit cards may be high. So here, this is like a B or maybe A student. Whereas here, B student, they're just participating. They understand credit cards, they pay their bills on time, and they keep their balances paid off halfway. But here is where the 690 to 719 is where they have the Amex or Chase card or some other premium card, Chase Sapphire. But you get the low interest rates, you get the car loans for 3%, get the home loan for 4%. This is where most people want to be, which is the A student range. And this takes a little bit of work. For the civil factors, like 5 factors involved in credit. 1 being credit history, that means your payment history. 2, your credit utilization. And 3, the credit age. So that means in order to have like a 700 credit score, you're looking at least a 4-year history. And even if they see a 4-year history, it's still really hard to get a 700 without a 4 years of credit history. So I've seen people with 700 credit scores with 1-year history or 2-year history. But the banks and the credit lending institutions are very suspect when they see a good credit score with only 2 years history. And then lastly, we have the A+ student, the 720, 850. And this is someone with probably 15 years of credit history. Yes, it can be done. You can get an 800 probably with less than 15 years. But this is a person with several credit cards, several car loans paid off, and maybe even a home paid off in this 800 to 850 range. And more than likely, this person may have inherited good credit from their parents or grandparents or an aunt or uncle. So, and it still goes back to some of the earlier principles I talked about, budgeting and saving and stuff like that. But this is the prime right here, 720 to 850. Like I said, 10 to 15 years credit history. But most people, when they shop for a car, which I see this all the time, they go in, and because they don't prepare or they don't talk to anyone about, car loans or anything, they go in with a 600 credit score and they end up paying 15% on a car loan. The sad thing about a car loan is it's a very much a depreciating asset. It's not like a home where it appreciates over time. Cars every 5 years, they come out with a new one or new model. And so at the end of 5 years, a car is almost worth, $2,000, maybe nothing. And so you want to stay away from, buying a car in this range. You want to get your credit up, even someone help you co-sign if you really need a car at this range here. But you want to work on your credit a lot before you go get a car. And you want to be in this range, 630, 689. And there's a lot of banks or credit unions that will work with you knowing it's your first car. They'll look at the fact that you might only be working the last 2 years, and they'll give you a decent rate, like 10 or 9%. I think my first car was 6%, and I met with the lender face to face. But yeah, these are the ranges. 300, 629, I would call your C student. 630 to 689, I'll call your B student. And 69 to 719, I'll call your A student. But 720 to 850 is your A+ student. So again, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And as always, we look to see you on the next one.